Today I discovered a really effective strategy by pure coincidence. My original intention today was to create a video by testing a strategy that used Bollinger Bands and RSI. But during my research, I realized there's already enough content out there on how these indicators work together. So instead of wasting my time on creating something that already exists, I decided to see if results can be just as effective if I use MACD instead of RSI. Here are the results of this strategy without any practice runs. If you are interested in learning my approach, keep watching this video. Let's quickly discuss the strategy that we will use today. The first pillar of our strategy is that we will take trades in the direction of the trend. The direction of price movement can be easily established by seeing how the price is moving. The price is said to be in upward trend if it's making higher highs and higher lows, and conversely it's said to be in downward trend if it's making lower highs and lower lows. In this strategy, we will only make trades in the direction of prevailing market trends. You will often face a scenario where the price is neither moving upwards or downwards, but in fact just continuing to move within a very tight price range. This is commonly termed as market moving in sideways. For our strategy, we will avoid to take any trading decisions when we observe such a price behavior. Now let's move to the second pillar of our strategy, which is based on Bollinger Band. This is a very famous technical indicator and consists of three key elements: a moving average, which is the center line, and an upper band and a lower band, which is defined by adding or subtracting two standard deviations to the moving average. For our strategy today, we will use something that is called as breakouts, which is when the price breaches the upper band or lower band. This is considered to be an outlier event, which means it's of significance and the price may continue in that direction. During such phases, we use the center line, which is the average line, as a line of support instead of using the lower band. Let's move to the final pillar of our strategy, which is based on MACD crossovers. Just like Bollinger Bands, MACD is an equally famous indicator and consists of a MACD line, a signal line, and histogram. And every time we see a crossover, it is supposed to be a sign of trend reversal. So for our strategy, we will wait for these crossovers and this indication before we make our trades. That's it. This is our simple strategy that we will use today. Now that you understand this, let's start to set this up. We'll be using TradingView for testing this strategy, and that is just because it has a very good replay feature which allows you to backtest based on actual data. For our testing today, we will use Tesla stock. There's no particular reason for it, but I just like it for its really high price volatility. So now let's turn back our clocks and go to the 1st of January 2022. It is clear that the stock went through an upward price movement, followed by a correction and then a slight bit of rebound. Now let's add our two indicators. Let's first begin by adding Bollinger Bands. I will slightly adjust the visual settings to make it more clear for us and also so that we can easily identify the key areas that we are looking for. Now let's add our second indicator, which is the MACD indicator, and similarly I will also adjust the visual settings because it's really important that we can easily identify the trends. Okay, so now we are all set to go. Now let's begin by understanding how the price stands. The regression line tool allows us to see the direction of the trend by just choosing two price points, and it uses all the price point data between that interval. Well, I immediately see some good price action in the shape of these three candles, and it's also supported by a crossover. However, our strategy is to wait for a breakout. And now we see a breakout. However, the trend is not very clear on Bollinger, therefore we will not take a trade. We will wait for a clear sign of a breakout. Okay, there is an interesting development here. Market seems to be showing a breakout in the downward trend, and it's also confirmed by our MACD crossover, so we'll take a short position. In general, I'm quite against taking short positions because of the inherent risks that they bring, but this is just for the sake of doing this test run. Now that we have opened a trade, there are a few key things that we need to observe. First of all, the center line, which is the average line, is really important because we are looking for a price action which breaches that line. Secondly, we will continue to look at the crossover on the MACD because that is our second indicator. After a good run, we now see a sign of reversal, which is in the shape of these three candles, which is a strong price action. and at the same time the final candle has also breached the center line, which means this is now time for us to close our trade. Okay, now we see that the price action continues and the price continues to grow and breaches the upper band, whereas we also see that our second condition, which is the MACD crossover, is also met. So which means we will enter a buy position at this moment. Well, we did see good price movement initially, however the trend did not hold for long, and we see another crossover on MACD, therefore I have closed this position. A bearish breakout on Bollinger Band, and this is following a MACD crossover. So this is again, both our conditions are met. We will take a short position in the direction of the trade. If you are still with us and following this strategy, I hope you are now understanding what I'm trying to do here, which is every time there is a breakout on Bollinger, I look for a trend confirmation and a confirmation on MACD indicator in the form of a crossover, and if that happens, I open a trade. Okay, now we observe something very interesting, and this is a classic example of how a market moves in sideways direction, which is you neither see an upward trend or a downward trend, and the market continues to move in a very tight price range. For the remainder of our test, I will continue to follow our strategy. So let's remind what was our strategy. The strategy was that we will take trades in the direction of the trend. We will use Bollinger Band to identify the breakout, which is the price breaches either the top or the lower band, and then we will take a confirmation from the MACD indicator, and a confirmation from MACD indicator comes through a crossover, which is a crossover between the MACD line and the signal line. Remember that for most of these indicators, trend is everything. Finally, we are nearing the end of our test for today. It took me almost an hour to run this entire thing. As you can see, the results are really rewarding. It shows a 60% win rate with a significant return on such a small investment. I hope you enjoyed our video for today. Please subscribe to the channel for more such videos and take a moment to read the statement.